on. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we're good.
Yay!
Yay! Hey, that was the smoothest transition we've had so far.
Kind of.
That's fine, but it still is viewing. Well, welcome. This is our Gentlemen and Whiskies 2022 holiday buying guide or Christmas guide or whatever you want to call it.
Or just Christmas live stream extravaganza.
We ran into some technical difficulties, so the original link that we've been given to people is not correct.
Not
so
Gusta.
We are currently in the works of fixing that on places.
On all but 3 of the places, at least.
All but 3 of the places.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
So.
What's up, guys?
We have bottles.
Yeah.
We have whiskey.
We do. We have glasses.
We do have glasses. We have a bunch of stuff
We've got
on
prizes
deck for tonight.
Lots of whiskey-themed gift ideas.
I want you to have this Glencairn.
Thank you. I don't like it when he hands me empty Glencairns, but I like it when he hands me...
Good news.
Yay!
We've got this evening.
It's the whole purpose of this show.
Or, just zoom in. Do the thing.
It's not on autofocus, but you can keep playing with it right now.
Would you like some
Yes,
Remus Repeal 5? So this is Remus Repeal. It is MGP.
John's favorite letters. Straight Bourbon whiskey. 100 proof. I'm not going to read the rest of those things. I'm just going to drink it.
You know you're the best at reading labels, right?
Shush. Quiet, you. Nobody
Yeah,
asked you.
so it is one of their flagship releases. It is a yearly release. This was last year's, actually, so it was 2021's.
2021.
Put it right there.
Yeah, you are.
Don't hit it.
Should I start that with a turntable?
I don't know. Do what you want.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay. We're gonna do some drinking. I'm gonna work on some links and making sure stuff is good. And yeah.
Merry
Cheers.
Chrysler.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
That smells very pretty.
So after the way that you reacted to the Penelope and the Nulu, I have a feeling that toasted stuff, because those are both MGP sourced. I have a feeling that you will really care for this one. Adam Diaz is present and accounted for.
Hello.
So window capture into.
Yeah, I did like that. I liked the Nulu a lot more than the Penelope, if I recall. But I don't really remember all that much. But no, this at least nose is really, really nice.
Yeah. Agreed.
Very sweet. Not really fruity. Maybe a little bit of citrus. But not like really heavy anything except sugar. Los sucros.
I like my window capture that I made. Haha, that's why. No, it should still be.
This is us being professional YouTubers. We definitely quit our day jobs to do this full time.
Nah. But I had this all figured out. So it should be there. And I hit this. Oh, and now it's gone.
Okay.
Done. Open that window. Nope.
Okay, well, while he does that, we can have a little chat. We decided that we were we knew we were going to do some kind of gift guide type video. We decided to turn that into a live stream to hopefully interact with a little bit of what you guys think as far as maybe whiskey gifts that you've received or have purchased for other people. But also just to kind of have fun with you guys tonight. So we've got some ideas of ours. We've got some maybe cautionary tales as well, as far as things that we don't recommend getting for whiskey people, and then things that we do recommend getting for whiskey people. And while he figures this out, I would say we could jump into it, but I want you to figure this out first. So I'm just going to drink and talk about nothing.
Well, yeah, let's drink.
Okay. People can figure it out. Whatever else. If they're on our channel, they'll see the link, right?
Yeah.
It's just on their socials that you're
Yeah, no, I was trying to fix the pop-up chat thing that I made earlier. I spent a lot of time today trying to figure that out. And I figured it out, and it worked. And then we switched cameras, and now it does not work.
Excellent.
So, you win some, you lose some.
Hello, Adam.
Cheers, boys. Hey, Bourbon Bill's here.
Bill. Hello, Bourbon Bill. This is bourbon.
Drinking some Remus 5.
Neither
a lot
of
of
us are
fun. We are going to give away some stuff today.
We are.
Yeah.
We have prizes today.
Yep, we have some nice, these are hard to see, but if you look at the bottom right side of your screen, you will see this logo. It is the Christmas Glens. They say Christmas 2022, Gentleman of Whiskey.
It's also
Happy Holidays.
what's on
Doesn't
his
say that
t-shirt.
on here. But, yeah, oh, so
Custom
t-shirts.
merch.
Super important. Super important. Because if you win our giveaway tonight, I will get you the t-shirt of your size. Ooh, so these t-shirts, super
That's
cool.
exciting.
My wife has one. We wore it to our Gentleman of Whiskey Christmas party. Bourbon Bill says, thank God it's not Remus 6.
I don't know what that means. I don't think I've had that. So.
He compared the Remus 5 to the Remus 6, and he did not like the Remus 6, and really enjoyed the Remus 5.
That's
so
perfect.
This is the Remus 5.
That's good news. That's what you're. Although I feel like people react to us disliking whiskey just as much as they do us liking whiskey.
That's true.
So, and we sometimes have fun with that, like Evan Williams honey.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It is pretty bad. All right. So nosing notes. A lot of oak.
I said most of the ones that I had pulled out. Most of them were sweet. I've already started drinking.
It's fine. Oak, cherry, a little bit of like cake icing.
Cake icing. Yeah,
Like
that's
a
what I was getting. I
vanilla-ish
didn't get
note.
cherry. I got some, maybe a little bit of citrus, but I didn't get much fruit on the nose. I got mostly sugar notes. So I get the cake icing bit. I got a lot of sweet, and it wasn't necessarily caramely. The flavor is more caramely, as far as what I'm getting. Also, a little bit of bacon spices.
See, I'm getting a lot of cherry notes on the palate, especially, like almost like a tart cherry juice.
Sure. I could see it. I'm not getting as much of that. I think mine is manifesting more as citrus for some reason. Maybe that's because of what I ate tonight, which I had some citrus, so maybe that's just still sticking around. Did you have cherries?
Yeah.
You did have cherries.
I did have cherries.
Oh, really? Okay. So, maybe this is just... Hey, it's there!
Got that stuff to work, baby.
Woo!
All right.
Hopefully that's not lagging anything.
Good things.
So, Bourbon Bill, what did you not like about the Remus 6? Like, I'm tasting this, but I'm saddened I didn't watch a video. So, if you detailed what you did not like. I don't know. You can respond or not, but
I really enjoy this.
I do too. I like it.
I opened it for Repeal Day.
Uh,
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I actually did an Instagram live. I just did a Instagram photo. So.
Is there a Romulus that goes to this as well? That's an ancient history joke.
Or Star Trek
joke. Yes, but I was going more on the brothers, twins, and the founding of Rome.
Brothers Romulus and Remus. The giveaway requirements for chat are, we just put anyone who comments at all
Anybody.
just gets one entry. So.
Is that per comment or?
Nope, that's
okay,
just one in total, so we'll level the playing field. It'll be great. We don't have to keep track of 1 million people. We just need to keep track of the 1, 2, 3 basically right now. It would be Adam, Camo, and Pac-Man, which is most likely, I'm assuming, Brett. But it might not be Brett.
Who's Pac-Man?
Pac-Man is Ethan.
Oh, we know both of those people.
Yeah, both of those are Gentlemen of Whiskey people.
Oh, the shared thing?
Yeah, they have a joint YouTube account because they do game streaming together. I'm already starting to slur my words, which is great.
Drink more of that, it'll get more fun. Although this is 100 proof, which for John is like, that's like milk.
It's like water.
Yeah, that's what he brushes his teeth with in the morning.
Basically.
Listerine 100 proof.
Retinol size.
Lots of stuff.
Stickers, magnets, and coasters.
And maybe something else that we decide is fun and throw into a box.
Yep.
Who knows?
Also, if we get to 200 subs during this stream, we will give away this nice 12 Days of Whiskey set.
Sponsor.
Assuming that you can prove that you are of legal drinking age.
We will need proof on that.
We will need proof.
That was a hang up on our one other...
Yeah, we were going to do that last year, and then we figured out that that's probably not what we want to do.
So inside is one very well labeled, cute little sample of a whiskey, and it's an advent, so basically one per day for the 12 days, either leading up to Christmas, or if you're like some people that like to say that the 12 days of Christmas starts on Christmas and goes for the 12 days into January. Those people are weird in my opinion, but some people like that. So that's what you're going for. If you would like to enter to win that, do what he says. And
Yep. Get your
comment,
friends
do all
to
that good
subscribe. Get us to 200, I think.
We're
At
really
last
close.
count, we were at 193. Let me just check
So it
that.
could happen tonight if
Could
people
very well
hang in.
happen tonight. We were at
It could
193.
happen this month.
Get your
Christmas.
kids. No, not your kids. Sorry. Get your
Well, if
wife.
they're of legal drinking age, they could be.
That's true. Yeah. Get your wife. Get your,
if she's of
friends.
legal drinking age, if they're of legal drinking age.
Well, no, it doesn't matter if they comment. They just need to subscribe.
Well,
so just get us to 200,
They
and
have
then
to be 21 to watch our videos.
It's true.
Or is it 18?
But they don't need to be 21 to subscribe. They just can't watch any of our videos.
It
So.
should be a bummer for them, I guess.
I guess. So, get everyone to subscribe that you know. Get us to 200, and we'll give away
Adam.
one of these in chat. Yeah, no, so I was going to have that one queued up. Oh, no, what are you doing? It was working, and now it's not working.
Believe in yourself.
Bunch of lawyers on here now.
That's our only goal for this is to not get like audited or served papers that say we have to appear somewhere. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
Buzzwords. Well, it was
Like
working, and now
for
it's not
John,
working.
banana.
So,
I'm glad banana can't get you arrested. Dang.
All right, well, now it doesn't work, so.
That's okay. We got some of them.
Adam said, I have witnessed the high-proof early mornings with John,
I also have.
which is
This is fun.
a fun college story.
Oh, well, we've got time. Do tell, and you have to now because you've mentioned it on here.
Well,
On the
so I was in the midst of a on-again, off-again relationship with an ex-girlfriend, and we were off again that weekend.
That weekend.
So
that was a good time.
it was a bad time, and Adam and I were hanging out at Adam's house, and I woke up in the morning, and he is a morning person, and I am not. So I got up, I opened my door, and he was there, and he's like, "Good morning, sunshine," and I was like, Walked to the fridge, got a bottle of Pinnacle cherry vodka out of the fridge, and chugged it for a little bit.
Oof.
And then, then I could speak. It was like coffee, but with...
No, that's like Listerine, but you're swallowing. That's what that is. Unless you do swallow your Listerine in the morning, in which case you should probably stop.
Depends on the Listerine.
Sip, swirl, and spit. That's what that is. Just like tasting wine.
It's true.
Emphasis on the spit if it's wine.
True story. So, we've got some
Yeah.
fun stuff planned today. We've got glassware reviews. We've got our list of bottles that we would suggest that you give as gifts. It was a good chug, one of my favorite moments. Well, I'm glad that we share that still to this day. Got an itinerary kind of deal going on. You want to start into bottles?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so I kind of...
Or gifts. Yeah,
Yep.
let's do bottles.
So we're going to do the top
Like yours.
14-ish bottles that we say that you should give as gifts.
14-ish.
14-ish. So I have 14 on the list.
He brought 14, and I might just grab a couple off of my shelf here and say what some things that I would recommend.
We're super prepared. Part of my point in this list, though, is it's stuff that people can walk out and get.
Yeah.
So,
regularly.
like Buffalo Trace, Weller,
Yep.
E.H. Taylor, those kind of things
Probably not on the list.
are probably not on this list. So, without further ado, this is our bottles that we would give as gifts. So, for the under $50 category, so that'll give you a little bit of time to start thinking about stuff. First one,
Early Times.
bottled in bond.
Nice.
So, I'm hesitant to do this because a lot of our viewership is in Pennsylvania. This is not available in Pennsylvania. It is a great bottle. This one is the Sazerac one. You can tell because it's got the little teeny black screw top. The other ones have a metal screw top.
Sound off in the comments about screw tops.
Yep. We chug those straight from the bottle, so...
That's right.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yep. It's what you do with screw tops. So, Early Times was owned by Brown Foreman. Some of my second favorite words.
I don't know who that is.
Nate doesn't know who that is. They are now owned by Sazerac, which is your favorite distillery.
That's Buffalo Trace.
That is Buffalo
Woo!
Trace. Yep.
I know that. I know
So-
one thing about whiskey.
It's under $30. It's a 1 liter bottle. It's 100 proof, at least 4 years old, because bonded. It's good stuff. I really enjoy it. I think most people would like it. It ends up in blinds being one of the best bottles. Often, we learned this from the Bourbon Junkies, but we have found out for ourselves that this is a fantastic bottle. So this is number 1. I'm gonna put it right here.
Yeah, you do that.
Yep. Okay. So next one is Cooper's Craft 100. This one's also not available in Pennsylvania.
So readily available.
They are readily available, just not in Pennsylvania.
For us.
So this is obviously 100 proof. It is not bonded, so it could be younger.
Yeah.
The shtick with it is they carve grooves into the barrels to add to the wood to whiskey ratio before they char it. It's fantastic. This was actually one of our 12 days bottles from last year, and it was like day 3 or 4 or something like that, and it was fantastic.
It was a really good start.
It was, I think, honestly, rated up there with our final bottle, which was Weller Craft Your Perfect Bourbon, or CYPB, whatever you want to call it. So, very good bottle, and it's my second on the list. All right.
Number 3.
Well, yes, number 3. Maker's 46, or Maker's Cast Strength. Is that 46 there?
Here it is. Well, there's one here.
Yep, that's not.
Boom. Maker's 46.
Yeah, we have another one somewhere.
This is the old bottle. There's a new bottle that has a screw top.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. It's somewhere on this shelf.
Might be up top.
Might be up top.
I don't know, but
No,
we can
is
look
that-
at this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wait. Oh.
Oh, nope, that's Cast
That's
Strength.
regular
Actually,
Cast
that
Where's
is my
my
number
number
2.
Okay.
So these are roughly the same price. They're about $40. This one I think is 42 now. When I walked into Fine Wine and Spirits, the other one does look like this one now.
Yeah. It doesn't
So-
have. This is the old Maker's 46 bottle that has and cork. It's not really cork. It's the plastic ones. But we did a video on this a few months ago
Yeah, it
where we
was-
did this old bottle versus new bottle. Unfortunately, we liked the old bottle more.
But
whatever.
It's all
still
batch
really
dependent.
Good. Yeah,
By now the batch that we had in the new bottle is definitely not the one that's on shelves. I'm
Right.
sure. So odds are, it better, worse. You never know with batch bourbon. With the Cast Strength, it does actually say the batch right here on the label. This one is 109.7 proof. I have one that's 110.1.
This is 94.
Yep.
I don't know if you said that.
These
You
are-
said that.
Yeah, 94. Huge missed opportunity. Should have been 92 proof because then it would be 46% alcohol by volume. I say that every time I talk about this, and I will
Yes.
never stop.
He genuinely does.
So, yeah, these are my number 3 pick.
Okay.
All right,
Well, number 3 and 3.5.
3 and 3.5.
In a way.
That's fine. The next one
So-
is good for Bourbon Bill. He's here. It is Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Ooh. This one is almost empty.
Yeah, this one is almost empty. It was one of our. No, I think I just had this on here.
Yeah.
I just haven't
Just
replaced
drunk
it
a
yet.
lot of it.
So it is 116.8 proof. It is barrel proof. Well, actually, it's technically a batch proof
Yeah.
because they batch them. It's $46, something like that. I think it's $46.99 in Pennsylvania. It has no business being under $50. It is one of the best values in bourbon. Bourbon Bill can attest to that. It is awesome. Lots of big flavor notes. I get some cherry cola off of it, and we actually did it last year for one of our group tastings as a cigar bottle. And
Yeah,
it was
really
amazing.
good. It was really good for that.
So, our last one is the Jack. It's actually another double feature. It's Jack Daniel's Bonded and Triple Mash. So they look roughly like this. The other one is black. It says Jack Daniel's Bonded on it. I don't know, it just moved, but these are fantastic.
I'm gonna put this on the shelf down here.
That's fine. I think it was actually the letter G is now moved.
It
but
is. It's
Anyway,
turning itself into the letter U.
it's fine.
We're back.
Fine. How are you? Jack Daniel's Triple Mash is actually my favorite of the two this year, but the Bonded was Whiskey Advocate's Whiskey of the Year.
Whiskey Advocate.
So that means it's going to be, crazy.
Probably will
Not
not
available
be as
soon.
accessible yet now.
So the Triple Mash is a blend of American malt, rye, and Tennessee whiskeys, aka bourbons. I just think they're great. Like, I got a lot of crazy flavor notes off of this one that were really interesting, and I thought it was great. Do you want to add anything to our list?
I don't think so. Nothing really spoke to me. I can think of a couple things that are in that price bracket that if you can find them, they make really good gifts. One of them is one that we did a video of that I'm just getting reminded of. Let me grab it here quick. Which I think was that price point, right? That was less expensive than $50, I think?
No, none of those.
Okay.
So he's got the Whistle Pig,
This
rye,
is what I'm talking
piglets,
about.
Yeah.
We'll save this maybe for over $50 stuff then. But this is one that I would recommend doing. We did a video on these little guys. Because Whistle Pig bottles on their own are quite expensive. And these, to get little tasters of them, are not as expensive. And they give you the chance to sample these whiskeys at home. And kind of, if you want to do it back-to-back like what we did, or if you just want to have a little bit of each of them. And they're really cute. They're piglets.
Okay.
I think they're
If
called.
you are specifically talking about the 50 ml ones, those were $22, so they would fit this.
That's
list.
what I was talking about. I was talking about specifically, I'm not talking about the individual bottles of these whiskeys. I'm talking about just this little piglet 50 ml tasting case.
Yep.
Do this if you see this on a shelf. They're somewhat available. I don't know about in this state. We got these in Maryland, didn't we?
I got those on your birthday last year.
Oh, okay.
So I have not really looked for/found those. I don't know how available they are.
But if you find them, do that versus buying actual bottles of Whistle Pig, in our opinion. There's one of those that we thought was worth it, but to buy at its price point, they're just kind of expensive to buy full 750s or whatever. But these little guys are awesome, and it's really good whiskey in those bottles. It's just, it'd be really pricey to buy all three. So if you want to try them, do that. The other thing I was thinking was this, but this is...
Yeah, don't pull that out yet.
That's I've got a few things for the above 50 for like the $50 to $100 mark, so maybe we should get into that and then I'll contribute.
Fun fact: that bottle is up to 60.
Oh, yes. It wasn't when I bought it.
No.
That's why I was thinking, because when I bought the next entry that I will put in, which will save, it was cheaper. But
Just actually grab it.
Okay.
We'll start
Segue.
This is the $50 to $100 list.
Pikes Hill Rye. This is 110 proof. We have done multiple things in our tasting group as well as I think on our channel regarding this whiskey. We find this to be a phenomenal, not just rye, but just whiskey in general. Really balanced flavor. It's not super like just rye heavy like a lot of ryes can be. It's not just like, oh, this is just bread. This has got a lot of other stuff going for it. So if you find this, I think you said what, $60?
Yeah,
This is
60
still
MPA.
this is still very worth it at $60. I think when I bought it, it was like 45, and that was absolutely super worth it. Now it's going up, I guess, in price. Maybe you know something about this bottle that I don't. But
I know a lot of things about that
go
bottle.
ahead. I'm just gonna
so
read
it's
it. If not,
it's Heaven Hill. So it's the makers of
Okay.
Elijah Craig, Old Fitzgerald, all the things, you know. It is a cheater rye, so it is only 51% rye. I forget the corn in the other mash bill. I actually mistook that in our high proof night number 1 at our whiskey tasting group for Booker's.
Yes,
That's how
you did.
nutty it is.
Yeah, you did.
So it is. It won that night.
Against
it's
Booker's,
fantastic.
which is pretty.
Yeah,
surprising.
there was a Booker's, I think, Shiny Barrel, Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. That was the one that I picked the top, but
And the fact that this took over top of those with the majority of our group is kind of surprising. We like both of those other whiskeys, but this one is
okay.
really,
So let's
really
put maybe some of those. I'm gonna pull these down.
Yep.
Those are our $50 ones. Can you grab the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof?
Yeah.
It is behind the Remus.
You got your
Right there.
Okay. This is just one of many bottles floating around between the two of us.
Yep, I
Because we
actually
love
just
this
bought
stuff.
another one the other week because I found one that was 132 proof.
Okay. This one
And-
is 130.6. This
Mhm.
is one of my 2 bottles. I have another one that is 127, I think. It's a little lower. But if you ever find this stuff, like you said, this is Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Do pick this up. I would say regardless of price, don't spend too much on it. But at the 65 mark, I think it is.
It's like 67 now, but yeah.
Ooh, okay, $2. Definitely pick this up for 65, 67, 66 and a half dollars. This is absolutely worth it. Not just because of its proof point, but like we've said in the past, most of the Jack Daniel's special edition type whiskeys are really delicious and completely blow the stereotype of Jack Daniel's, like Number 7 or Gentleman Jack or whatever, out of the water.
Yep.
The flavor is there, the depth is there, obviously the proof is there. This is not shooting whiskey, this is sipping and tasting whiskey. Much more so, this is one that you can like sip and savor over the course of an hour. It's really good. And yeah, definitely worth it at its 65-ish price.
Yeah, so that one is not actually a special edition. They have these on the shelf.
Okay.
They were a little bit.
They used to be.
They were rare. I don't think they were.
I thought they- Maybe not.
I don't know. Coy Hill,
That's a special.
the rye, and then this year's American Single Malt are all
Special.
their special
Okay.
editions. Jack Daniel's 10 is also.
Jack 10, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah. So
But if
Yeah.
you can find that, definitely pick that up.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
so delicious.
I can recommend this to anyone who says that they like high proof stuff. It's a fantastic bottle. I really enjoy it. Yeah. Next one on the list is Old Forester 1910 and also 1920. I only brought one. I brought the 1910. They're both fantastic.
I
If
think
you
I have
like them
1920 somewhere in
for
this
different
box.
things, you probably do. You brought it.
I have the
probably brought it.
1897. That's not the same thing.
No. The 1897 is also good.
Yeah.
I think as far as what most people are going to like, the 1910 and the 1920 are there. Obviously, when you are picking bottles for somebody as a gift,
Yeah.
the best thing to do is to find what they like and then work from there.
Yep.
So, if they like low proof stuff, buy the 1910. If they like higher proof stuff, buy the 1920. Buy the Pikesville Rye. Buy the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof. Those are all going to be hitters. And really, honestly, the best thing about giving whiskey as a gift is the receiver getting whiskey as a gift.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I don't think I've ever gotten a bottle that I don't like as a gift because I like who gives it to me.
Right. Yep. And then also, I think the community of whiskey. I think most people would say that. Even if it's not your favorite bottle, it is something that you can either put in your collection.
Mm-hmm.
You can pour it for other people, even if it's not preferably like your taste for what you're going to sip by yourself. But if you have other people over, you can pour some of it, and other people. John and I are a testament of this. If you've watched any of our videos, we disagree all the time on what kind of flavors we like, on what kind of whiskeys we like. And so for that reason, having a broad spectrum in your collection sometimes really helps to kind of mellow out. So even if it's like, I like this, but your buddy who comes over might like this, well, you can pour both of them and both enjoy a sip of whiskey. I'm going to put in a Scotch now,
Okay.
which is in this price point, if I can find the bottle amongst... which is one we've talked about on the channel before.
Port Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I have a bottle?
You do
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's behind these letters. I'm just going to move this letter momentarily, and I'll leave it on the shelf.
I'll pull this out.
Okay, never mind. He's going to pull it out.
I'll
That's
pull it
fine.
out. That'd be great.
This is Port Charlotte's. This is actually an empty bottle, I think, but I've got multiple of these. This is currently like my daily driver Scotch, but also kind of whiskey. I know you've heard me talk a lot about Buffalo Trace as being my daily driver. That still probably is. This is much more available than Buffalo Trace, and even people who do not typically like Scotch, especially do not typically like Islay Scotch or peated or anything like that. I've heard from multiple people that this stuff fits their palates as well, and I personally love this. For one, it's a little bit higher proof because it's 100 proof, but also it doesn't have some of the like really technical difficulties. It doesn't have some of the like bitter or kind of acidy, peaty notes that some people don't like within Islay Scotch stuff. It's not as smoky as a lot of Islay Scotches, so comparing it to like Lafroig or Lagavulins or something like that, this one is not that. So this is delicious, and I would absolutely pick this up. I think this stuff is $65
Yeah,
for
it's
a bottle.
65, 70, something like that.
Definitely worth it. This is Port Charlotte 10. A lot of things I find from Bruichladdich, if you're a Scotch person, they don't get talked about, I don't think, as much as some of the like more heavy hitters. I've really fallen in love with a lot of their stuff. I've got a bottle of Classic Laddie here as well. That one is also really nice. That one's definitely leaning more into the peatier, smokier, kind of earthy tones. I also have a barley somewhere on the shelf. It's behind the other letters. I'm not going to pull it out. But check out some of their stuff. I would highly recommend it. But then this one definitely at that price point. And he would echo me on that. And
Yep.
he doesn't echo many Scotches. So.
But I'm also going to say Ardbeg 10. This one I actually find is really approachable for being an Islay Scotch. Obviously, if you're giving it as a gift, Islay Scotch is one of those that you should probably make sure that they like it
Yes, yep,
before you give
yep,
it to them.
yep.
Or you realize that they're open enough to enjoy it.
Try something new.
Try something new. Yep. So Ardbeg actually was turned on to it by another famous YouTuber, Jeremy Sayers. He loves it, loves these bottles. I like almost all of their expressions that I've had so far.
Mm-hmm.
The Anawa, the Wee Beastie. The Wee Beastie is a lot of fun. It's a 5-year-old Scotch that's jam-packed with flavor. Really enjoy it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I say most of those things I would agree with. On the Scotch side, as far as a buyer's guide, if you're not sure if they like Scotch, we would say probably go with more of like a Speyside Scotch if you're not sure. If you don't know what they like, or if they haven't vocalized it, or if they don't really know. Speyside is the word that usually gets thrown around is smooth, but it's just much more neutral. It's much more mellow. It's a good thing to kind of sit and sip. And so you've got, in that kind of price point, you've got like Glenlivet 15.
18 even.
18 at a stretch. 18's up there though in price. That's 120 mostly for a bottle.
Yeah.
But still, very good options there. And those are a little bit safer for somebody if you're not sure what they like within Scotch.
Yeah, I think the Balvenie Caribbean cask is in that list, is in that price point. Nate and Brett did a video of that. Yep, recent video of it. Super cool. The Aberlour is in that price range.
The Abenade.
Both the Abenade.
Which is...
Yeah.
Which I have a bottle
Which
of.
is right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Either the Abenade or even the 12, I think, is really pretty decent. Glenfiddich, I think 14 and 15 are both in that range.
Which, my opinion on that stuff is usually get the older stuff, with Glenfiddich especially. We've had the Glenfiddich 12, and it didn't hit as well. It did a good job, but it didn't hit quite as well. But
yeah,
usually when you start getting into Scotch, especially, I think we've talked about this, it's usually worth it to spend the money. It's a nice gift, for sure, and anybody who ever gives me a bottle of Scotch, I'm never going to complain about it. But usually when you get into Scotch, I'd say even more so than a lot of bourbons, that's when the price point really tends to show itself in the whiskey that's in the bottle. And so getting something that's an 18-year or whatever, you're talking in the $100, $150, $200 a bottle kind of thing. And that, gets more expensive usually with older whiskey there. But okay, what's your next offering?
Okay, so I know I said easier to find. Right now, these are actually still floating around, though. They are still decently available. Obviously, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This one is C922. I've seen people picking up B batches from this year, B522, and C batches, C922. They're great. They're not necessarily my favorite high proofers, but they are fantastic. A lot of people like them a lot more than I do, and I think they're fantastic.
I agree. We have not found that every batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof or Small Batch is good. This one particularly is. It's a good thing that both of us are out of whiskey, because that means that we can...
Well, I actually haven't had this one yet.
I haven't either.
We've opened it, and Brandon did a first impressions of it, but we haven't had... Yeah.
Because my palate runs after the Remus. That Remus was very good, by the way.
Yep.
Bourbon Bill or whoever, if you had reviewed that, I would say that was definitely delicious.
Yeah, I would put that up there at like a...
Probably a 7.5.
Give it an 8, yeah.
Okay.
So, gonna sip some Elijah Craig Barrel Proof,
Yeah, we
but we're gonna talk about some Blue Note.
are. Because that makes sense.
Yep. It does make sense.
Yeah.
These are also not available in Pennsylvania, but they're very available in Jersey. I know Bourbon Street has picks of this. They are the Blue Note Uncut Juke Joint. This one just happens to be an R Bourbon pick, but bought this when I managed to win one.
So, pause.
Pause.
You've mentioned our bourbon before. For anybody who doesn't know what that is, can you explain a little bit what that means?
Okay, so Reddit is a website
Yeah.
and an app.
Maybe people might know what Reddit is.
So Reddit has subreddits that all start with r/.
Right.
This is the subreddit for bourbon. There's a dude named Tate, T8KE.
Okay.
I'm just probably butchering that, but he is the one who does all the barrel picks for our bourbon. There is an email chain. Basically, you get a weekly survey to see if you have any interest in the barrels that they're doing. They're all single barrel stuff. Well, not all single barrel. Some of it's small batches, but it's all unique to our bourbon, like any other store
Gotcha.
pick anywhere.
Gotcha.
So he's doing all the barrel picking, all the blending, all the whatevering for it, and then giving it away, like selling it through other retailers. They do ship to Pennsylvania. Some of them require you to give your own UPS tag,
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
but for the most part, they do ship to Pennsylvania. Blue Note, awesome. I've really been impressed by what they're doing. This is actually sourced from Green River Distilling Company in Owensboro, Kentucky, and it's fantastic. It's a little bit mesquite, like a smoked meat. And then it's got some sweet notes on it. At some point, we'll get on and do it on the channel. I have another bottle of this because it's pretty close to being done. I also have a Bourbon Street one that's, I'm hoping, really good. Haven't opened it yet. But if you find these are great gifts. Single barrels especially, but Blue Note specifically is awesome.
The other thing we would say about most of the things that we're recommending tonight, these are really good gifts to give yourself as well, for most of these. So if you find 2 bottles, get 2. Have one for yourself. Have
Merry
one for them.
Christmas to you.
That's right. Even if they're not offering it at buy one get one free, just buy 2.
I don't think they do that a lot.
No, I don't think it's allowed, actually. I guess it could be.
It could be.
They just might jack the price to 200% and then say buy one get one free.
This C922 is really good.
It's yummy. It's very not fruity.
Yeah.
It's like, which I think most of the Elijah Craigs are not usually. They tend to be more salty and like savory, but also baking spices and some of your typical bourbon stuff. You
I get some
caramel
sweet.
and-
I get some vanilla,
Mhm.
almost like a cake icing. I know I said that for the last one, but just where I'm at today.
Fair enough.
Finally, Rare Breed Rye.
Rare breed.
It is not in the same price category as the bourbon, but it is to rye what the bourbon is to bourbon. That made sense. It's great. It's a cheater rye. It's a 51% rye, I think 42% corn, something like that.
Corn.
A big lump of knobs. This is great. I really do enjoy it. I think it's a great rye. We did it this year for our Jewel Rye tasting, and I think it was the number 1.
1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was number 1. So, best rye according to Gentleman and Whiskey
For this year.
for this year.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to add to this list?
What price bracket? You didn't actually say, I don't think. What price bracket are we at?
We're at 50 to 100.
50
So.
to 100. Yes. I would say the Bardstown Fusion series. We did feature them earlier. I think I've got bottles somewhere up there, but we'd featured them on earlier ones. Number 3 specifically was one that we really liked, and I think number 5, if I recall. delicious that's in that price point. That's a really fun one because it kind of each one is very very different. But especially if you've got somebody who's really getting into whiskey, that's a really good exploration when it comes into blend whiskeys and like batch whiskeys, because that's what all of those are, is basically mixed together, different sources.
Bad news.
Yeah.
They're done. They're not making the.
Okay, well, if you
fusion
find them on the
anymore.
shelf now, specifically this year, definitely do them.
Yep, batch number 8 is the last one because they are starting to release their own distillate.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So,
well, we'll
yeah,
see. Maybe they'll
they're
come up with something else.
they're doing a bottled and bond, which is a weeded. I'm not sure if it's 4 grain or not. They're doing their own bourbon and they're doing their own rye. So they're doing 6 years of each.
Okay.
The bourbon I think is 96 proof. The bottled and bond is obviously 100 proof, and then the rye I think is 96 also.
I'm going to put one more thing in here because it's also a good segue into our next price category. Are we doing one more price category?
You can do another price category. I don't have anything for above
Okay.
that. So
Well, I do. That's going to be this. So this one kind of fudges the line between $100 to $150, $200. This is the Glenfiddich Project XX or Project 20. My buddy just found this down in Delaware for under $100. Up here in Pennsylvania, it tends to be above that. It tends to be like 120, 130, something like that. And so it was a really good price down there. So if you live down in that area and you can find this. This is one of my favorite scotches right now. I find that it is absolutely delicious. I would say better and much more broad in flavor profile than just standard Glenlivet of this age bracket. But if you can come across this one specifically is batch number 2 or experimental series 2. This I've now had 2 bottles of this before, and now this is the 3rd one of this. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend this scotch. Just about anybody that I've given a pour of this to who's a scotch drinker has sung its praises. So, yeah, that's that kind of price point.
hey, can I have some of this bottle?
This one?
Yeah,
Yeah, man, absolutely.
not right this second.
Okay, I was like, you want to chug?
No.
'Cause-
No, I don't think it would go so well after ECBP.
Okay, that's fair enough. Let me think if there's anything else that I would say above that.
While you're doing that,
Yeah.
hey, leave a comment. Tell us you're here. You will win some stuff. So you obviously can't see this very well, but it is that thing, but on a magnet. We also have stickers. We also have coasters. We're giving away to somebody in chat tonight, so just leave a chat. That will put your name in to win. You do not win an entry for every chat opportunity. It's just once, so at this point I think you're sitting on a 25% chance of winning.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, pretty decent. And then if we do get to 200 subscribers tonight, while we're on stream, we got an hour and 9 minutes roughly, we will be giving away a 12 Days of Whiskey box. So, if you want to see more about this box, we do have a video, a reel on our Instagram. Check us out. We're at Gentleman and Whiskey on Instagram.
We are.
And yeah, so Nate, tell us a little bit about 12 Days of Whiskey.
So, again, 12 Days of Whiskey is like our version of an advent calendar. Or it can be, if you're going more by the song, starting at Christmas and going for the 12 days after Christmas. But inside of this wonderfully packaged box, you'll find little sample bottles of different whiskeys, nicely labeled and everything that way, that will go one per day, basically. Mm-hmm. So one per evening or whatever you want to do. One per morning if you want to. And all the way either to Christmas or all the way after Christmas and stuff. They vary pretty broadly depending on the day, so they're not necessarily all in one vein of whiskey. And yeah, they kind of make a really cool, festive tie-in with the whiskey world. We've done it. We did it last year, and I think everybody that did really enjoyed it. So if you'd like to participate with us, you will be entered to win if we get to that magic 200 subscribers mark.
Adam goes, time to make a bunch of accounts for my alter egos.
Sure. I mean, we don't care. Whatever. Do what you want.
Look, we're still at 193,
Yeah.
so Get us to 200. That's all we care
7
about.
accounts. Go make 7 Gmail accounts.
So,
Sign
obviously,
up.
I know what's in 12 days this year. It is bourbons, ryes, and some scotches. So,
Woo.
it is 6 bourbons, 3 ryes, and 3 scotches. So,
That's exciting.
yep. Last year, we released a video every day
Yeah.
with them.
We're not doing that this year. I don't
We are doing that this
Are
year.
we? Okay,
But
never
we're doing it a little different. We're actually going to try them.
think. Oh, nice.
So,
I'm on board with that.
yeah, I don't know how interested you're going to be. I know Brett's doing some with me. Brett actually helped me curate the list this year.
Okay.
So, helped me do some hunting. A lot of fun. Shout out to Brett. Brett is at Camo and Pac-Man.
Which is somewhere in the stream.
He was all the way at the top. So, awesome.
I think that's all the bottles.
Okay.
Right? But there are lots of other things that you can gift to people who are interested in whiskey. And I guess we can kind of talk about that now. Is this a good time to...
Yep. So I have 5 things to give as a gift that's not a bottle, kind of 5 whiskey accessories and ideas. So my first one, my wife and I actually really enjoyed these. These are Woodford Reserve's bitter sets.
Oh, nice.
They have them
Okay.
on Amazon. All of this stuff, I will post Amazon links as soon as we're done here. I will put them in the description of the video. So they have 5 flavors. They have spiced cherry, aromatic bitters.
Ooh. Now I'm definitely going to get cherry on the nose, I think.
Yeah, right?
I don't need to smell all of these, but you can just tell me what they are.
I mean, I'm just handing them to
Aromatic
you.
bitters. Okay, cool.
Sassafras and sorghum.
Sassafras.
That actually made a really good old fashioned with Wild Turkey Rare Breed. The chocolate bitters.
Chocolate bitters.
That plus the Nulu Double Oaked is fantastic.
I do like Newly Double Oaks, so...
Yep.
Okay.
And then finally the orange bitters. So
Which I go through probably the most of this.
Mhm.
Not necessarily this specific one,
Yeah.
but orange bitters I use in a lot of different cocktails.
Yep. So I think they're a fantastic addition, especially, trying to find whiskeys that go really well with them.
Yep.
At some point, maybe I'll release a video and do my old fashions, one for each of the 5 set. But yeah.
I think one quick note, and this is a good example, you mentioned that you got these on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Some of the good things about some of these items that we're going to talk about is the fact that you don't necessarily have to go to a liquor store
Right.
to purchase these. Obviously, these are non-alcoholic because a lot of these are things. But that's kind of a nice point if you're not able to make it to a thing, or if you need to ship it to somebody or something like that, or cross state lines, whatever. A lot of these gifts are good. If you know that they're into whiskeys, these are good options as well.
There's only 6 states that outlaw the shipping of whiskey.
And we are in one of them.
Yeah, we are in one of them. So
Thank
that's
you,
super fun.
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Okay, so
Next
my
on the
second
list.
thing, an ice ball maker.
Ice ball, or in my case, an ice cube, clear ice maker.
Yep, that's
Same
what
vein.
this is. I actually have mine at home. I'm not going to open the box because there's literally nothing in it. So
I can open
I
mine.
made ice balls with it, and we're going to do a little thing with those later.
Ice
It's going to
balls.
be super fun. So it makes mostly clear ice balls. The pro tip is don't leave them in more than 48 hours, but leave them in more than 24. Because if you leave them in more than 24, they will be frozen completely. I think mostly they all kind of follow the same idea
Yeah.
of there's like a cooler kind of element to keep it so that it freezes vertically.
Yep.
So,
So you can see this has kind of compartments
Yep.
and like different layers
Yep.
to where everything goes.
Yep.
There's an actually really cool video. I'll talk about it. This is just an empty tub, basically. That Jeremy Sires did a long while ago of other ways that you can make clear ice. I don't know if we can link to that video, but it is a really cool video that he showed a way that you can do it in just like a cooler, like a Coleman cooler. It's a lot more involved, and it involves a lot of cutting and a lot of other things like that. These are ways that you can do it in smaller batches, for sure. That makes a big difference. But these are kind of fun gifts, and what they're really highlighting is clear ice specifically. So you can find molds and you can find other things that you can make ice spheres or whatever, but specifically clear ice, when you see those like fun ASMR type cocktail videos on YouTube or whatever, and that ball of ice is just crystal clear. It's not cloudy, it's not cracked or anything like that, or cubes. These kind of things are usually involved, or they've made a larger batch of ice and they've chopped it down. But that's not easy to do. Regular ice, if you just freeze water, it usually gets cloudy, it usually gets cracked, and that's due to how it freezes. So these are kind of fun gifts that you can give to people.
Yep. I don't personally use ice with my bourbon or with my whiskey a whole lot.
Cocktails, maybe.
Cocktails, usually. Sometimes during the summer.
Yeah.
But we are going to do a trial here later for why I say whiskey stones are trash and don't buy them. So what you will not find on this list is whiskey stones. And I guarantee you everyone whose family knows that they are a whiskey person has gotten whiskey stones at some point or another.
I'm going to reference this box right on my shelf right here because this is a set of my initial anagrammed whiskey stones that somebody generously gave me, and I'm very grateful for them. They make a much cooler desk ornament, though, than necessarily something I would use in whiskey.
They're fantastic paperweights.
Yeah, and I've given them, like, the thing I will say is if somebody does not tend to like whiskey tasting as much, cooling off the whiskey sometimes helps them sip along with you.
Yep.
Whiskey stones can be an option there if they don't want to water down the whiskey, but it doesn't really cool down the whiskey very well, and that might be what we're highlighting later.
Well, we actually could be eating crow here in, like,
okay.
a little bit.
Fair enough.
So we're going to do that. I actually brought my my temperature gauge. So we're going to put temperatures in. And we're going to see how well it actually cools the whiskey. And then, because everyone says that it dilutes the whiskey too much, I also brought my hygrometer to test the proof of the whiskey and how much it proofs it down.
I knew none of this before right now.
And
so
that's the best part.
Great. Okay, cool. So this just got very scientific and involved.
Oh, it's going to get super involved.
Okay,
but
next gift.
Still,
Let's keep
5.
talking about this.
All right, so whiskey books.
Yes.
I am not much of a whiskey... Oh, well, actually, I'm very much of a whiskey person. I'm not much of a book person.
But I am.
Too much in high school and in
Okay.
college. So there are... I'm going to... Well, yeah.
I'm just going to grab them.
Yeah,
so
just grab
we can
these.
find- And then this one.
Yep. So, single malt whiskey by
Some people.
Clay Risen and Chip Tate.
Yep.
That one is...
American Whiskey by Richard Thomas. And then this one is Charles McLean's Whiskeypedia,
Okay.
which is Scotch, basically just highlighting a bunch of different Scotches and stuff.
Fred Minnick is a very divisive figure in whiskey, but he is a fantastic book writer. He's got Bourbon, The Rise and Fall and Rebirth of American Whiskey, and Bourbon Curious, a tasting guide for the savvy drinker with tasting notes for dozens of new bourbons. He's great. Look, a lot of people don't like him because he seems pretentious and he always wears an ascot, but I don't think he makes that much of an ass of himself.
Does he make
for
much
wearing
of
an
a
ascot?
cot of himself?
Does he make what?
Much of a cot of himself?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
I only use cots for camping, so
But you don't use asses for camping?
I do. Mostly. I think it kind of has to be.
It goes along with you no
it's-
matter where you go?
yeah,
Okay.
it does. So, couple more very popular ones are the Complete Whiskey Course and the Bourbon Bible. I think the more that you know about whiskey, the better, especially
Yes.
when you're learning what you like. I think learning about the whiskey itself helps you determine what you like and how you like it a lot more.
Yeah.
And
And read books.
yeah,
He said he doesn't read much, and that's probably true, but people should read more. That's my hot take, and I'm not going to get onto a rant about that, but people should read more. Read more books. Okay, next up is...
fun whiskey games.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't have
so
anything for this.
there's Bourbon Trek is a game. I'm going to read you the description of it on Amazon. It was created by whiskey lovers for whiskey lovers. Embark on a journey of facts and lore. Bourbon Trek is a fun and entertaining trivia game for bourbon lovers of all types. Enjoy challenging your friends with your whiskey knowledge and competing to become the Bourbon Trek champion.
Cool.
So,
Go play that.
sounds like a lot of fun. Then there's the Great Whiskey Challenge, and that is a blind tasting kit. It's a really cool kit. I know Bourbon of the Week has been really pushing that hard on his on his channel, and it's a super cool thing. It makes blind tastings really easy. You can obviously do blind tastings without that. We've done tons on this channel, and we outline, how you can do that. But it's got really cool tags, and it's got like tasting notes and a lot of help there that I think could be really good for somebody who's not super into whiskey already and not used to running blinds. So the Great Whiskey Challenge, and then Whiskey Business, which is a pun, and I love it for that. But it also sounds really fun. It is an addictive strategic dice game
Oh boy.
that plays fast. You are a competing group of distillers producing Irish whiskey, Scotch, bourbon, and rye. Roll the dice to gain the ingredients you need without spoiling the batch or sampling too much of the batch, and getting 3 sheets to the wind.
Great.
You'll have until last call to make or steal the most barrels you can, and the game ends with a grand victory toast, with a twist, of course. So, this and Bourbon Trek are just stuff that I found on Amazon earlier that I thought sounded really cool, and I would buy and play. So,
Fair enough.
all right,
Other,
5,
Other gifts.
glassware.
Yay!
So, we have these Glencairns.
Which is our personal preference.
They were our
choice.
2021 winner for best whiskey glass. Between that, the Norland glass and the Rocks glass.
I think they've also been just like a decade worth of just winning for us for the most part.
They're inexpensive. Even the next couple that we're going to show you, the Glencairn, is undoubtedly cheaper than all of them.
These are close. Because a set of 4 of these, we'll talk about which
We'll just
one I'm
bring 'em
pointing at, was about the same price as Glencairn. But,
where am
okay, so let's talk about these first. These are one of the first entries.
Yep.
I don't know anything about
I brought
these.
these. So these are aged in ore. Aged in ore is just fantastic across the board. They are called the neat glass. So they are nice and thick at the bottom, but then they have that tulip shape that Glencairns also have. So I'm gonna put
Necessito.
mine up here for a second. And also, they have like a little traveler pack here that the glass fits into with a 3-ounce sample bottle.
That's really handy, actually.
Yeah, this is awesome. So this kit, I think, was like 30 some bucks, 36, something like that. The glass itself is 18. And then they also have another traveler's kit here behind you that is just 4 of these 3-ounce bottles that are super cool.
Those
It
are
comes
sweet.
with a
I'm also really, really, really glad to see you pull this out for this video. Because I was going to buy this for you for Christmas.
Brandon already beat
And
you
now
on,
I don't have to.
on the sample
Thank
thing
you, Brandon Lincoln.
for my birthday, so
Okay,
that's pretty
fair
cool.
That's cool. Next entry is these, which say Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
Yep.
On the bottom of them. I don't know if that's probably just the addition of these. These are your glasses again, so you talk about them. They're tulip shaped. I can see that. It's a much bigger opening on the mouth.
Yeah, they're kind of beefy. They're the Kentucky Bourbon Glass by Libby.
Libby.
They
Yep.
make, according to them, the best whiskey glasses in the world. I bought these mostly because we needed to do this at some point. We needed to do our 2022 glass guide. So we wanted to pick 3 glasses that were not what we did last year. And these are cool. I actually thought they were much, much smaller than they actually are.
They're big. Yeah, they're pretty beefy.
They're pretty giant.
I will say though, just initially,
Mhm.
we haven't even started using
Right.
them yet. But the one thing that I kind of like about them is the fact that they have a base similar to a Glen,
Mhm.
which allows you to handle them easier
Yep.
without contacting the bowl.
Yep.
Which we usually find is one of the most helpful things, to not heat up
Mhm.
the whiskey, to lose proof and all that kind of stuff. The next offering that we have is on that same line, which is actually a stemmed glass. These are made by Luxby. Found these on Amazon. These are still a tulip shape. It's a little bit bigger of a glass bowl, but it's still a small opening, kind of similar shape to a Glencairn, maybe a little bit deeper. But the stem, I think, is focused, again, to try to isolate your hand away from the bowl so that you don't heat it up. But yeah, we're going to see, I guess, between all of these, everybody has their opinion, I think, when it comes to glassware, and you'll see all kinds of videos saying, use this, or whatever. We've stuck by Glencairn so far, and I think we've had pretty good success with that. But I'm interested to see which of these kind of wins out for that.
Yeah, and one of the other things that we've always said is just, especially with our group, we will probably never use anything that's not
No.
Glencairns
No.
because I think it's important to stay consistent.
Yep.
It sounds like an old wives' tale, but there really, honestly, is a difference in how you smell and you experience whiskey in different glasses.
Yes. Yes.
So these are our three. So yeah, check out the links. They will be posted in the description of this video. And then, yeah, that's kind of our list. Do you want to move on to testing these glasses?
I will just briefly gonna highlight a couple products. These are not specific products, but I'm just gonna give again a quick buyer's guide to people. If you're really not sure, if all of this stuff that we've said kind of goes over your head, or you can't find any of this kind of stuff, there are quirky little things that you can get for people who like whiskey that are always a good option. One of them is a good flask. This one is a Stanley. I know Stanley's as a brand has really hit popularity recently with their cups being every girl on Instagram's dream, I guess, as far as sipping with a straw. But this is a Stanley flask. This is my personal choice because these things can take an absolute beating if I'm camping or anything like that, hiking, whatever. You can take these with. There are niche products that get a little bit more quirky. This is a flask and a cigar holder together. You can find all kinds of this stuff on Amazon or on different things, but it's got a spot to put whiskey, and then it's got a little tube for holding your cigar. I don't really use this one all that often, but there are things like this. What I will say, if you have a friend of yours or a family member or something like that that you know is into whiskey, as a whole, I think both of us would attest to the fact, get them something that involves the actual tasting of whiskey. The things that I do not really like getting is I don't really like getting things that are just branded whiskey brands, especially if it's from a bottle that I haven't drunk. So just getting me something that says like Buffalo Trace and it's on a barrel top or something, whatever, it's cool, but I probably won't like that as much. If it's just like, I don't know, some random Jack Daniels, or getting me empty bottles, don't give me empty bottles. Some people are like, here, I got you these empty whiskey bottles. You can use them for decorating or whatever. I've got plenty of empty whiskey bottles that I have emptied myself. I don't need anything like that. I don't need cork collections, and I think you'll find a lot of people that are into whiskey drinking will say the same thing. That just tends to kind of be clutter, and they can find what they want if it's decorations or something like that. But get them something that's involved with the actual tasting whiskey, or get them whiskey. I mean, I would say probably the best gift.
Yep. I don't think there's ever a bad time to get whiskey.
Yeah.
Unless, you're struggling with alcoholism.
That's a bad time.
That is a bad time. But yeah, I mean, I cannot stress enough. Over these things, I would rather get a bottle.
Oh yeah.
I would rather get a bottle of something that I have not had.
The only caveat to that is if you do not have Glencairns or specific tasting glassware already, or you know somebody that does not have them, that would be a gift that I would say absolutely do that. That's definitely worth it. Maybe over getting a cheaper bottle of whiskey. At the same price point, get them a set of Glens. I think that pays itself off really well. But
I agree.
That's the only thing I think I would say. Anything else, sure, stocking stuffers or something like that. But
yeah. All right, hey, let's move into glassware review.
Woo!
We're going to use Nate's favorite whiskey. One of Nate's favorite whiskeys.
Buffalo Trace.
The ever popular Buffalo Trace.
Yay! We don't drink this enough on the channel. I'm really excited about this.
I mean, really, we're trying to just drink stuff once.
I know, and I just want to drink this 9 times a day, so... That's not true. I don't want to drink this 9 times a day. I don't even want to drink water 9 times a day. I should.
That's true.
I should drink it way
Hey,
more than
here,
I do.
have this.
Hey, thanks, man.
Do you want a Libby glass?
I want all of the glasses.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's one up there.
I'm gonna pour some whiskey in it. Is that cool?
No.
That's not a heavy pour.
Oh boy.
Boy.
I'm gonna transfer that to the meat. Okay,
That's
so these are our 3 glasses.
Yeah, they are.
What's your glass called?
Luxby, what is it called? Bourbon and Whiskey Crystal Glass Snifter.
Why don't you just get that out?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
We've got the glass here. We'll put a link to all of these below in the description. These are, I think, all Mostly available on Amazon or on the internets somewhere.
Yep.
So-
Age Nor almost always has some kind of a deal
Which one are
going
you
where
starting
if you
with? This one?
spend $100, you get a free neat glass.
Okay.
They're $18.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. They dink heavy.
They do dink heavy. A lot of grape.
Yeah.
Not a lot of that traditional spicy note though. It's usually got some baking spices and some leather on the underneath, and it's not.
That's really
Here.
hard to hold. Are you experiencing that as well?
Not really, but it's hard to like
I'm
not
trying to
grab
not
a
make contact
yeah,
with,
yep.
which maybe this is not the way.
Just
you hold
tripod it.
and stuff
Just
like that.
3 fingers.
I'm quad potting it.
You're stability potting it.
Sure, whatever you want. It looks kind of weird when I do that in camera, but
The nose seems
British
a little
people will be
dead.
offended. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's because that bowl like is so wide, but then it doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
taper that much.
Well, in the last video, what we found was that the Norland glass actually deadened
Yeah.
the smell.
Yep.
But the Glen concentrated it, and so did
New Orleans
the
glass
Rocks
is.
glass.
I think New Orleans glasses are very similar in shape. The tulip shape of the New Orleans glass to
Yeah,
this.
they have the tulip on the inside, but it's like, it's weird. It's all.
I think my biggest thing with the North, and we had a video about this previously. My biggest thing about the New Orleans glass wasn't necessarily the nosing. I thought the nosing was better than a rocks glass. I thought the overall experience with tasting that was the downside for me, and John can attest to this, with facial hair, that was such a messy glass to drink out of. It dribbled over the place, and it was just like, it's just not good. This one, I don't know how it's gonna sip. As far as nosing, I mean, it's fine. I'm getting a lot of like background smells, more so with this than I think I do with a typical Glen. Maybe that's just.
This one's more apple. This one's more grape to me.
Oh, you're already moving on to the nosing of the next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna nose all 3 of them before I try it. So.
I'm getting more of the like vanilla and caramel out of this one than I did with that first one.
See, this one is more traditionally what I expect out of Buffalo Trace. Like you got your apples, you got
Okay.
like some apple pie kind of notes, some apples, some baked goods, some baking spices. As Grandma makes it, you put a little bit of leather in your apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Buffalo Trace is to me.
That one's way more comfortable to nose.
Yeah.
I think the stem glass. I mean, stem glasses have been a thing, especially in the wine world, for hundreds of years, and there's a reason for that. But I think just to be able to handle that and like swirl and do all that kind of stuff, you get legs on this one a lot more than
Yep.
the other ones as well.
Yep. It is very
But
easy to get your legs on this.
That like really tapered nose is really like funneling a lot more of the typical Buffalo Trace nosing aspects is what I'm used to.
It's a little funky though.
It is.
Like I almost get a little nuttiness, and that's
Oh, I'm
not normally a
detecting
thing.
nuttiness. That's a Ratatouille quote. Shout out to Pixar movies.
They definitely need our 194 subscriber shout out.
I bet you every single one of our subscribers has watched Pixar movies at some point or another.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't really need our support.
I think this one, I'm getting more of the Buffalo Trace stuff that I'm used to than this, the Asian Oil one. I'm like in the base of this one. I think this one seems the most stable. This also seemed, both of these, I will say, compared to the stemmed glass, the Luxbeat, these are much more robust glasses.
They are stinking heavy.
Yeah, like,
That one is like light.
that's delicate. Like, be really careful with this. Those came in like a really form-fitted packaging, and I'm gonna have to keep it in that because I'd be really worried about breaking those. These guys, I feel like would. I don't know about the bowls as much. Maybe this one. This one seems mucho
Hold on.
robusto.
We need to do that. That's
Okay.
still pretty.
It's decent.
pretty
This
heavy.
one is gonna sound like two bricks coming together. I'm pretty sure. Oh, this one.
We did that one already.
Yeah, this. Oh, that's actually really satisfying,
I love
though. That's really satisfying.
That sounds like an alarm, like a clock.
Or like Christmas bells. Christmas chimes. Okay, so that's really satisfying. I don't know, like, depending on how tipsy you are, that might cause breakage because coming together you have to be really careful with. But this, I think this feels like the most indestructible glass of the three that
You're
we're
at
doing.
195, buddy.
But oh, we got a subscribe! Yay, we're getting subscribers tonight. That is excelente. But this, yeah, how we doing?
We need 5 more in 43 minutes.
5 mas.
So.
Okay.
You want to taste out of each of them?
Let's start tasting. Let's start with this one since that's what we started nosing.
Yep.
So cheers, and cheers to Buffalo Trace. Wow, it just feels like a really robust glass to sip out of. Ooh. But I'm getting a lot of apple and odd flavorings that I'm not used to.
Yeah. It's a lot of grape.
Wow.
It's really funky too.
Mm-hmm.
I think this bottle might be funky.
What is it? It's just regular Buff Trace, right?
Yeah, I know, but they can vary from bottle to bottle.
Alright. Well, I have a big handle here we could open and try it with. Actually,
already in the glasses.
I think I have another
Doesn't
bottle
matter.
or two if I need to, but- Yeah, let's see if that's in all of them, because that also might just be following up to that Elijah Craig that we were sipping. Oh, you're on this one. Keep it up. Okay.
Well, it's not as funky.
No. You have to tip that one a lot more to get some whiskey out of it, though. A little harder to get small sips out of. Still getting some of that apple. Not like you said, not getting as much of that funky flavors out of. It is drinking pretty hot. But a little bit more of what I expect out of a Glen with this one. This is good. This is borderlining more into that territory of what I usually get out of a Glen, but hotter. It's more. You're getting more of the proof and not as much of the undertone flavors, I think.
You know why that is?
Go ahead, John.
Because when you go to drink out of this one, your nose
is still in it.
is in it.
Yep.
That is one of the key factors of a Glencairn.
Isolating
Is that
the
you
nose and
cannot,
the palate.
your nose cannot smell it
Yep.
while you are tasting it.
Which I have a feeling this last glass is going to have more of that.
Agreed.
I'm going to palate cleanse quick because...
I mean, we just probably need to drink water at this point.
Yeah. That also. I don't know, I'm doing right.
All right.
Okay.
Last one.
Last one.
Gotta dink it because it sounds amazing.
I love that so much. And it's going to change pitch every single... We're going to have to think after every sip because it's going to...
Hold on. Whoa. Can you?
Cool. Okay, whatever.
Never mind. No, I was just trying to change pitch.
Oh, yeah.
With your finger.
If we take some liquid out of it, it'll get low.
Eventually, we could like we could use it like handbells.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding,
just
ding,
play like
ding.
that. Christmas Carol of Bells. Alright, let's get in this one.
Fruit's gone.
Yeah, it is. Funk is back.
Yep. And you for sure can nose and taste with this one simultaneously.
At the same time, yeah. I think all three of these are doing that.
This one was not.
I feel like, so this is a 2-inch mouth on this glass. A Glencairn, I think, is 1.5 inches. I think it's in centimeters, but it's close to 1.5 inches. For comparison, I didn't like that as much as I think you.
Well, okay,
but that is an example. Like all three of the glasses that we're trying right now, I think have a similar. The second one we did has the biggest mouth opening. This one and the first one I think are about the same. A Glencairn is smaller than all three of these, and I think that is a big testament as to, like you say, isolating that nose from the palate. I will say this one is not nearly as hot as that second one, and so I feel like this is maybe better for sipping and tasting than that second one. But it is also difficult. I mean, similar to like, this is a wine glass basically. I mean, similar experience, similar
Yeah.
It's kind of satisfying to hold. It's very satisfying to take.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty satisfying to swish. It needs.
The-
Oh,
You know,
yeah, we're gonna
change the tone.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't want to. I was just gonna say we're gonna move on to
Opposite tone.
our analysis.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let's start off with simultaneously. Which one was your favorite? Which did you like the most?
The last one. This one. Okay.
I don't know. This was, I think, the closest to what a Glencairn would be.
Okay. My only thing with that one is I didn't like how it held. I think that's the biggest part.
I agree.
And I think that in a tasting where you're spending some more extended periods of time on one whiskey, your hand making that much contact with the bowl is really going to affect how that tastes. And because there's no way to hold this without, I mean, you can hold it like up here
All right.
or something like that.
I think my favorite
it's really,
of the three
it's not comfortable
is
to hold.
this one. I think the best tasting glass is probably this one.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing I like about this one is durability. I feel like on this one is going to be way higher than both of the other two. But that being said, Glencairns are not durable. We've broken tons of them. They're not bad. They've got a decent base, but the bowl themselves, it's crystal. It's really thin.
Yep.
And so that can break. So I don't think durability is necessarily a selling point unless you're traveling. That traveling kit that it comes with would definitely sell it for that point, and it'd be better than a rocks glass.
Well, and what I really enjoy about it is it's kind of the best of both worlds between a Glen and a rocks glass.
Yeah.
Because it's got that tulip shape and a little bit more of that tastingness, but it's also got that satisfying tactile feel that a rocks glass has. Like, this is beastly.
Yeah.
This is heavy.
If you're okay with just fisting it, I mean, if you're okay with just full palming, noobing a glass,
Like, I feel like this one doesn't fit in my hand. Like, I feel like
It's a little too
in
big.
order to hold this, my finger needs to be touching the bowl.
still, yeah.
With a Glencairn, I almost always hold it like this, where my fingers are not touching the bowl. This
I
one,
think with a Glen, I tend to hold it lower, and I tend to
Yeah.
almost pencil grip it maybe more, which I feel like I get this kind of hold more with this one, and maybe that's just because that's how I'm comfortable holding it. So maybe that's the reason I prefer this, is just it feels more
Yeah.
habitual. I feel like I'd have to kind of retrain how I hold a glass to do swirl, sniffing, all that kind of stuff with the other glasses versus what I'm used to, which is a Glencairn.
Yeah.
As far as overall, yeah, I think that Luxby one, I think that will be a decent alternative for me, but I think I'm still gonna go with Glencairn.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yep, I would not. That's not true. I would use the neat glass
Camping.
as a chillin' glass. Like, if I'm
Okay.
not trying to do a tasting, I just want to have some whiskey on the back porch, maybe with a cigar where it doesn't matter
Yeah.
as much, I would probably choose the neat glass.
Now, would you choose it over a rocks glass in that scenario?
I think I would.
Okay, because that's what that's on our last glass review. That's basically what we highlighted, was that the rocks glass had its purpose, and its purpose was basically if you're going to pour some whiskey and then just hang out and chill because it's stable and it's cheap and it's robust and whatever. If you're saying that that's worth it. Now, I guess I should also say, what are we talking about as far as price for these three different glasses?
So these are 18.
Okay, a piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam says, I think Nate just likes to hold glasses with his pinky out.
You're not entirely wrong.
37 divided by 4. So,
I drink espresso and I drink tea and I drink apparently with stem glasses because that is fun.
these are 9-ish, so they are half the price of the
Is
neats.
this better, Adam? I'll hold it like this.
And then, how much did you say these were?
$28 for a set of 4. So that's the cheapest of all of these. Significantly.
Yeah, it's 7 apiece.
$7 a piece.
So-
Which is similar to Glens. Glens are usually 7 to 10.
Glens in a 4-pack are $6.20, I think.
Okay.
So,
similar to Glens.
80 cents less. I think it's significant. I would not buy any of these over
Glens.
Glens as a tasting glass.
I wouldn't either. I would agree with that. I'm okay to have these because they can double, I feel like, as wine glasses too when people come over that drink
Yeah.
wine, which I'm not really one of those people.
Mhm.
But I will say this. This one specifically advertised itself for other liquors as well, being brandy, being those other liquors that people drink that we don't really drink as much of and don't drink on this channel. But I can see it being useful for all of those. Whiskey specifically, I'm still going to stick with Glen's.
I gotta be honest. I don't know what you would want in a glass that is not the Glencairn. Like what specific
So,
other liquors
With
are doing?
wine, I can understand having different. There's actually different glasses for different wines.
But even
specifically,
But even for a tasting, like I would imagine that
Yeah.
you want.
because you want them to breathe differently in the glass, where you do want them to nose. Sometimes you do want the nose to interact with your tasting. You don't want the whiskey. I think is much more. You want it to isolate because for one, it's a liquor, and so a wine is. You're not talking about the same proof points. You're not talking about the same. It's not the same kind of alcoholic beverage
Right.
as what wine or something like that is. So that's why there is specific glassware for wine, and I think that's why different ones are more about the nose, the palate, whatever, or the grapes specifically. I don't know that much about wine, but I can see that for other. I can see that for other things. So like brandy, or cognac, or whatever. I can see though because there's so much like fruitier and there's so much sweeter and things like that. I can see them maybe needing different glassware that's not as pipette focused at your individual senses. Whiskey's not, at least in our experience, the stuff that we like is not as much about that. Whiskey for us is about identifying those little individual notes,
Yeah.
and that's just easier to do with a Glen. I don't know, like, it just is.
It's almost like they knew what they were doing when they made Glens.
Shocker.
Yeah, so I would definitely take it going Karen over these, but I would say that I probably like this one the most, the neat Aged
Cool.
Noir.
And its camping kit is the bomb diggity.
Not really sure why you did that.
Because I want to drink the rest of this Buffalo Trace, but I want to drink it out of this because this was my favorite of the three.
Fair enough.
And my other, my Glen still has electric in it. So I'll just sit like this for the rest of this stream.
Could you go with the ice and the...
Oh, we're about to get scientific, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to get scientific. It'll be great. Do you have rocks glasses?
Yes. In my living room, the one set of shelves to the left of the TV, if you pull down the one door, there's a bunch of rocks glasses
Okay.
in there.
We just need 3.
And there's the ice
Yeah.
balls in the freezer.
Yep. And the ice, the whiskey
And the
stones.
whiskey stones are in a little bag right next to them.
All right, so that's been our review of glassware for this year.
As well as 2022 holiday buying guide.
Yeah.
We were very productive today.
We were super productive.
We stayed mostly on topic too.
Yeah, we got about a half hour left to get those 5 subs, and
I'm
if
feeling
we
pretty
do,
good. You're feeling pretty good.
if we do these magnets, we have stickers that look exactly like them. I will get you a shirt of the Santa Glen. That is our design for 2022 for Christmas or Happy Holidays. If you want that, I can make that too. We'll give away some coasters, and if we get 5 subs in the next half hour, 29 minutes, we will give away a 12 Days of Whiskey. Nate, show them what 12 Days of Whiskey is.
For the third time. Each one of these is getting less and less concise because I've been drinking. This is the box full of 12 individual sample bottles, and the 12 Days of Whiskey is basically our version of an advent calendar. Maybe someday we should do like a 25-day advent calendar, but for
Bourbon
now,
Bill's doing that this year. It's pretty cool.
you go Bourbon Bill. For now, we're doing 12, and inside of here, numbered for the individual days, this is number 1, is a labeled sample of whiskey. There are 12 of them for the 12 different days. You do 1 per day. That will coincide with videos that we will be posting on our various different forums. They vary broadly, so they're going to be bourbon, scotch, or rye. And yeah, if we do hit 200 subscribers in the remainder of this thing, one of you guys will be entered to win, and you can do it alongside of us. This is what we do with our members. So if you live in the Lancaster area and you become a member of Gentleman Whiskey, you could participate. But other than that, the only chance you really have is if we get to 200 subscribers and you comment on this thread. Also, on a weird side note, but my brain is there right now.
Yep.
This is a magnet. When I was a child, I watched the X-Men movie where Magneto pulls the guy's iron out of his blood. And I was always terrified, after watching that movie as a kid, of putting a magnet on my arm because I thought it was going to pool all of the iron in my blood. I'm really glad that science is different than what movies portray, because otherwise I've been screwed a long time ago. I don't know where that rabbit trail came from, but I'm holding a magnet, so.
Magnets.
Magnets.
Good for Magneto. Okay, so we are doing our little challenge.
These are rocks glasses, by the way, in
Yep.
case you didn't know. So we have
yeah.
three
You want-
options.
You know, okay. You want some Remus? Okay. I'm going to give you a Glen. Get some Remus.
Shout out to John's wife for facilitating a lot of this live stream. She's off camera, but she's waiting.
But she's getting some Remus 5 in a wild turkey glass. Okay. So the challenge.
Oh, you're
This
putting
is our-
all of the whiskey stones in that
our
glass.
control group.
Okay.
This is obviously a whiskey ice ball
Ball.
with made from my Berlino, whatever. And then this is all the whiskey stones I have in this glass. And
Okay.
if I am correct, that will be several degrees less than this
After a period of time.
after a period of time. So we're going to do like 10 minutes. It'll be done at like
Are we just
8.
leaving that, or are we
54?
going to taste those and see the difference as well? Or is it this all
Sure.
scientific?
We can do
Because
that. But
so
I also
far-
have scientific because I have my brand new Bluetooth cooking thermometer, which here.
Is totally set up. This is an unboxing as well, which this is not a whiskey gift, but sure, give somebody who usually people who like whiskey also like to like smoke meats and stuff.
True.
So
It has been said that that by 35 you need to figure out your personality, and it's either craft beer, whiskey, or smoking meats, or
Or all
World War II
three.
history.
or all four in my case.
Nate's just out here collecting personality traits.
That's fair enough. Whatever. But I could reach within almost arm's reach of me something regarding at least 3 of those things.
It's actually true. Could do that. All right. The control. I should probably take the.
Are we gonna wait?
No.
You're just going in.
I mean, they're going in. We're gonna test it now, and then we're gonna go from there.
Okay. This is how scientific we are. We have no idea what temperature this room is. We have no idea how long
Seems like 68.
that. So what's the temperature of the floor, John?
65.
Is it okay?
65.
Okay.
So Nate, what have you been drinking recently?
What have I been drinking? I have been drinking Port Charlotte, mostly. That's not entirely true. I've been drinking this Galdrins.
Galdrins.
Yeah. Which is a Campbelltown blended Scotch. Which I don't think we've ever featured on this.
We
But
have not.
this bottle is very, very yummy. But not as yummy as I would have hoped. So I'm just trying to get through it. Because
What
it's
do
a cool
you
bottle.
not like about it?
It tastes really young. And it tastes like a Scotch that should be older. That's the main thing. It just like tastes like it needs a little bit more time. It's a decent proof for what it is, but it just tastes like it needs a little bit more flavorizing in a barrel somewhere. What else have I been drinking? Water. Hashtag hydrate. Yeah.
Oh my word. It will not stay in this one rocks glass. Okay, so as of currently, the standard one is at 70 degrees.
Which is, I think, what this room is at.
Yep, the rocks glass is at 55 degrees.
Okay.
and the ice ball is at 42.
So far we've been proven right. Why don't you leave them in there for a little while?
Yeah, we said we're gonna leave 10 minutes, so
Okay.
they've been in the glass since 34, so we're gonna do that. Till then. Also, I have. Where did I put it? Zero idea where I put that.
What are you looking for?
I had a sample of the holiday toast by. No idea either.
Okay. Well, how about instead of your holiday toast, why don't we open up this bottle of Smoke Wagon that has a Christmas tree on it?
That's not bad.
That's a different bottle of Smoke Wagon. This is the one area of my shelf that's actually organized. I tried to grab that blind, it didn't work. Do your tastings blind, not your grabbing off the shelf.
Yeah, I don't recommend grabbing things blind.
That might be a buzzword. Okay, this is a bottle of Smoke Wagon straight bourbon whiskey. Yeah, I'm just reading the label. I don't think it's any special edition, is it? It just has a Christmas tree on the label.
They're Christmas trees from last year. The ones this year are red.
Okay.
Which is super cool.
But we're going to try this because I'm excited to crack this bottle open, and I have been for a long while.
Yeah, when'd you get that?
I got this last Christmas from a guy that's looking for a shout out at this very moment. I have this blend right here. It's full of whiskey. What should I do about that? We're good.
Those are black anyway.
That's not very.
The whiskey right.
That's
Sure.
not very
I
Christmassy.
have more down here.
Okay. Ooh, hello.
It's pretty decent.
Okay. Want some Smoke Wagon?
Sure. I have a bottle of this that's not the Christmas trees, so I'm all about it. I also have a Christmas tree that I didn't do anything with. I might just collect them. That might be my personality now, is collecting bourbon.
I think that's been your personality for the last couple years, buddy.
You're not wrong.
Okay. So the only thing festive about this is the Christmas tree on the outside, but Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night if you're watching this after the fact.
It's right here.
There you go. Block your face with it.
I don't
It
care
seems
about my
super
face.
stable. I care about your face.
Bam.
Okay.
Okay.
We're good. Okay.
Oh, this is so nice.
Other Smoke Wagon products that we've tasted in the past, we've very much enjoyed. So.
Yep. We've had,
Do you know anything about Smoke Wagon? Because I really don't. I have 2 bottles of it, but I don't know much about it. The other bottle I have is
small batch.
Small Batch, which is an absolutely beautiful embossed bottle.
Yep.
With a nice little wax seal on the outside of it, which I'm all about that kind of detail.
So, like many things, I know much about Smoke Wagon.
Do tell, John.
Okay.
Story time with John.
So, Smoke Wagon is Aaron Chapneck. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Well,
Could be-
so far you've
could
done
not
really
be.
well with names, so we're going to go with it.
Yeah, we're going great. So Aaron on YouTube is at Aaron from NV Distilling, and he basically chronicles all of the blending that he does. So it is an MGP source product.
MGP!
So he gets all of his barrels from MGP. They do some selective aging
Okay.
in Nevada, but for the most part, I think for these 2 products especially, it is mostly stuff straight off the truck from MGP that he blends. The small batch is 100 proof. The Smoke Wagon, just the straight bourbon, is 92.5 proof, which is cool. Hmm?
But it's sitting in the mouth a lot.
That's the worst place for Elijah Craig.
Don't touch that one, John. Okay.
Baptist preachers, am I right?
Oh my gosh.
So, I believe this is true. I would need to fact check myself at some point, and I'm sure I will.
We'll do that in the
But
edit.
Smoke Wagon bourbon is usually 4 to 6 years. The small batch and the uncut unfiltered are 6 to 8, and then they have some products that are aged longer than that.
Cool.
So the uncut unfiltered, I have a batch of that, and it's really delightful. I think a lot of the MGP flavoring turns out very cherry out of what Aaron blends, but
Okay.
he blends it himself, He literally has a beaker and just like pours some stuff in, and he's like, "This batch is mostly 8-year bottles from Warehouse X."
So it's
floor
like
3. Yeah.
how you do cooking.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Just randomly add ingredients until it tastes yummy.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah.
It smells delicious. It does not smell. Man, what is that scent of it? It's not necessarily specifically sweet.
No.
It's a little briny.
It's a little bitter too, like a tart cherry. But it's also got some like it does have some sweet notes to it,
Mhm.
but more like a
Fruit, specifically.
like a vanilla extract.
I'm getting a note that I can't identify right now, but that could be because my brain is not working super well.
I'm getting some banana.
Ping! Wait.
That's now the new banana.
We're gonna have to sound capture that. And
We
use
can make that
in
work.
One anytime he says banana. That was also really satisfying to do. All right, let's drink some of this and wait until our temperature goes up or down. It's gonna go down, except the control maybe. Ooh, that's very yummy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot different than the Remus, which was also an MGP product. It's got some more fruit flavors, like almost like a little pineapple. Getting some like cherry, banana, pineapple.
Cherry banana pineapple.
Yep.
Which is one of the rarest fruits on the tree.
It's got like fruit saladness to it. Fruit solidity.
So if you had a fruit salad and the juice that's left at the bottom of it,
Yeah, it's like cocktail syrup.
If you distilled that and then poured it into a glass,
Well, then it wouldn't be bourbon.
no, it wouldn't.
It would be brandy.
It would be brandy. You like brandy? You have some brandy, don't you?
I've never met her.
I used to say brandy for a fine girl, for the good life would be.
It's time. It's been 10 minutes. Okay. Do you want to read these numbers?
Yeah, I do. I think we know how this is going to end. Probe 1, which is in the control, is still at 70 degrees. So
70
that has not
degrees.
changed. That's good to know because that means my house is not falling into an Arctic Circle. Probe number...
Ooh, just went up a degree.
Probe number 3, which is the Whiskey Stones, is at 57, 58. It's changing a lot right now. Probably because I'm breathing on it. And probe number 2, which is the ice, is at 39 degrees. Obviously, that's Fahrenheit for any of you guys across the pond, which is literally none of you. That's how we do things.
No one in Canada watches us either. So, I have a refractometer.
That looks like Luke's lightsaber.
It does. Okay. So, what this does is, I'm going to put a drop of the whiskey on here.
Yes.
We knew that it was originally 90 proof, so that is 45% alcohol by volume.
Yeah. When did you get this?
What?
Did you get this recently?
Yeah.
Did you get this for this video?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I got this for my mini barrel.
Oh, yeah. So
So-
John is currently aging and like correcting flavors of his own barrel at home, and
Well,
adding and
it's-
subtracting things.
It
to
started with
taste.
Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1, the little mini white dogs. So, I took 6 of those and I put them in a charred barrel, and we're going to see what we come out with. So, we'll probably do a video on that at some point.
Maybe
but-
in a couple years, maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
Probably not years. Probably like next month. Well, it'll be done. Because it's been 6 months, and it says something like 38 days is a year. So we're going on like 8 or 9 years.
365 days is a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, when it is the wood to whiskey ratio of 2 liters, it equates to 38 days is
I'm
a
just
year of aging
Talking
in a
specifically
55
about
gallon barrel.
what I learned in school.
So, the biggest complaint I hear people say about putting ice in their whiskey is that it dilutes it too much. So what this thing is going to do is tell us how much the whiskey has been diluted past 95 or 45% alcohol by volume, or 90 proof.
90 proof.
So, I'm going to take a drop of this stuff. I'm going to actually try and grab it from there. I'm going to put a couple drops on here.
Have you used this thing yet?
I have, yes.
Does it work?
Yes. I checked it and calibrated it.
That was very splashy. It's very drippy.
Okay, so
What is the verdict?
look at it.
This one has dropped a lot. Which one is this?
This is the ice. I'm not checking the other one because
Okay.
it should not have diluted it.
This one is showing up at about 30%. Am I
It's
reading
about
that
32.
correctly?
I saw about 32.
It's dropping. No, yeah, it's right about 30. It looks like. So meaning it has lost a decent amount.
Yeah, it has lost about 15%. I still think that's about 32, but it doesn't
After
really
10
matter.
minutes. So
34 maybe.
that's something that we've said before on this channel about putting ice in your drink.
Mm-hmm.
For some people that's a good thing. For some people that's a bad thing. It's literally watering it down. I mean, that's not a surprise.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think to
it's-
anybody. If you're new into whiskey, if you don't enjoy the taste of whiskey straight, or if you just want it colder, the coldest way to get whiskey is ice, is what we're finding right
Yep.
now. But it also does have maybe the negative or positive effect of diluting it. Whereas the whiskey stones are obviously going to stay at the same exact proof, maybe being a little cooler. So maybe there's some benefit there. Neat, obviously. It's just the way the whiskey is in the bottle, and that's how we always do all of our tastings. I will say there is oftentimes benefit to adding individual drops of water to certain whiskeys as you're doing tastings. We've never really done that here on the channel to highlight that kind of thing, but there are some times that it is a benefit to add a couple drops to kind of open up things in if it's just in Glen or if it's in another vessel. But this is the stones. This
Yep.
is just going to taste like cooler. What is this, Buffalo Trace or this?
Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, but see, it's not that cold. It's not like it's cold.
Right.
This is going to be cold.
Right. But it's also a little watered down.
Yes. It's cold.
It is cold.
That's way less Buffalo Trace. And this is. This is what I want. I keep this. I'm not actually gonna keep it. I already have some of this. No, but that just tells it for me though. It's like if you want the highest intensity of the whiskey, just drink it neat.
It probably
can,
would have
if you
been
like it.
better if I'd used a higher proof bourbon. But I wanted to use something that we had on hand that I could do.
I
That
think
knew
it's
the
good.
proof of.
I mean, that's a pretty neutral. There's lower proof than that. There's higher proof than that. That's right
Yep.
about in the middle. So
Right. So it does dilute more than I thought it would, to be fair.
Yeah, and that didn't take long either.
No.
Now the room is kind of warm, but the room is always warm pretty much when you
Yeah.
have ice in your whiskey. That's one of the things that we mentioned. I think we'll highlight it again though, is the fact that one of the biggest elements of putting ice in a drink, especially a cocktail. Obviously, you're cooling it down, but also a cocktail. That element of water is basically part of it. Then over time, becomes more and more of an element. Drinking just whiskey. I mean, you think about asking for whiskey on the rocks and stuff like that. You're basically asking the bartender or whoever to water down your whiskey. So if you're thinking of it as like a concentrate product, you're trying to water it down. But
Yeah. I still would not drink it with any of them. I think maybe I was slightly wrong about how much the dilution happens.
yeah, it's a lot.
Because, yeah, I mean, 12...
And this room is not warm. This room is like 68 degrees. So
Which
it's not
is-
like we're in a hot room right now.
warmer than my house.
It's warmer than your house, but it's cooler than a lot of people's houses and cooler than a lot of average spaces.
Yeah, I don't know. I still would probably not use any of them. So I guess, honestly, 12 degrees is something. But I don't know that by tasting it, it really changed the flavor that much.
The only thing I will say about this is that it does make that Buffalo Trace more accessible,
Mm-hmm.
like, to anybody, I think. if you're not if you're trying to ease your way into being able, it's kind of like when you start drinking coffee and you drink it with cream and sugar first,
Yeah.
and then maybe you work your way to black coffee to experience what coffee is all the way like at full strength.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that you can do with ice. Is you start drinking it with some ice, and then maybe less and less and less until you get to the point where you can drink it neat. If you're doing a tasting, I think our recommendation is still try to drink it neat. If you can get yourself to the point where you enjoy it neat, do it neat. But
Yeah, I agree with that.
okay.
Let's do our check on how many subscribers we have. We're at 195, so it does not look like we're going to get there tonight. But, you know what? We'll get there at some point. It is what it is.
Probably soon. Thanks to you guys, because we have actually seen some growth in this channel and a lot of feedback. And regardless of how many subscribers or likes or whatever,
Yep.
we've had some really cool interactions with
Yes.
you guys.
Yep.
People that we've never met before, that we've interacted with, people that are into the whiskey world, or some people who are not into the whiskey world at all and maybe have started their whiskey journey because of this. And I think all of those things, I would say, is kind of one of our favorite parts of it. So regardless of how many subscribers, regardless of how many interacting with you guys all across the country, we've got subscribers come from all over. And so that's kind of been a really cool thing to witness. But
Yeah, and even across the world, and, you know, we do have some, you know, we can see the analytics, we can see people, you know, from India, from England, from across Europe too, seeing our videos, which is super cool. You know, we do this because it's fun. You know, we're not necessarily trying to make money off this, although any money that we do make would go back into helping the channel.
That's true.
You know, it's, you know, a lot of fun for us.
we have
to do
had
this.
some whiskey given to us to try on the channel. Shout out to those people who have given us samples to test specifically for these videos. But
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing growth. Our Instagram is now up over 600 subscribers.
which is
Or
awesome.
Not subscribers, what do they call them on Instagram?
Followers.
Followers, that's the thing. Followers, subscribers, same thing.
It basically are.
Yeah. So it's been really cool to, you know, see this growth and see how you guys enjoy us, and we're going to continue doing what we're doing into 2023 and beyond. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, we're not gonna obviously be the biggest whiskey channel in a year. We're not gonna do this stuff, but we're gonna make fun and engaging content.
I don't think you and I even necessarily want that, because we like having our people and in a way the kind of like tight knit group that we have. So okay.
Pretty much. All right,
Thank
let's
you
do
for
our
all of
giveaway.
you guys' interaction through this live stream. It's really cool to see you guys comments and stuff like that. I haven't actually been able to read some of them, but some of them have been hilarious.
Adam Dehas said, "LOL, I can't believe you just compared whiskey on the rocks to coffee with cream and sugar. I feel attacked about my coffee preferences now."
Do you drink coffee with cream and sugar in it?
It does.
Oh, okay. There's times that that's okay. I'm more of a black coffee kind of person. I'm more of an espresso kind of person, like straight. But
Look, it's his coffee. He can drink it how he wants.
Absolutely.
In
the
the
same
way,
way,
his whiskey.
drink it how you want.
How he wants.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one thing that all of this has kind of shown, is that there are definitely different flavors, and so if you prefer one over the other, in the same way that John prefers different whiskeys over different things. There are high proof whiskeys, there are low proof whiskeys, and there's elements to both of them. Like, yeah.
I think that everyone is different, especially in how they like things, and, you know, drink your whiskey how you want to drink your whiskey. I will drink my whiskey how I want to drink my whiskey, which
And
is
I
as
will
close to barrel proof as possible.
And I will drink my whiskey however John wants me to drink my whiskey.
You drink your whiskey however you want to drink your whiskey.
Yeah.
I may make fun of you for it.
Yeah, and I may make fun of you for it. With
But
your
that's
scientific thermometer.
The fun of our friendship.
Yeah, it's 20 years going.
It is 20 years of our friendship, and it has been a lot of fun.
It's actually longer than that now.
Yeah, I know.
It's
We say that, but it's probably been more like 25.
24 years now? 24 almost?
Yep, since my parents invited you over for Christmas Eve.
23 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get into our giveaway. We are giving away not a 12 Days of Whiskey, so you don't need to show what that is again.
Yes, you are.
One of these t-shirts in the size that you choose. This one is 2XL because I am fat. This
There's a lot of John to love.
magnet, which is
Not
the
2XL.
same as what's on the bottom of your screen. We will also give you a sticker because, you know, we love stickers and that's fun stuff. Some coasters.
Handmade coasters.
Yep, I laser engraved these and painted them myself, as well as adding the cork on the back, so I basically made these.
When he says painted, he means clear coated.
Yeah, right. It's paint. I put it along with paintbrush.
Okay.
It's painting.
Fair enough.
Clear painting.
You're
That's what I'm
talking.
saying is I know more about paint than you do.
You really want to go down this
No,
road?
I do not.
Should clarify. I work in the paint industry.
He
and
does.
have for over a decade.
He sold me the lacquer for that.
I did.
All right, so we've got 4 people who commented this evening. We've got Bourbon Bill, we've got Adam, we've got Camo and Pac-Man, which is also kind of Ethan, but also Ethan.
Ethan did it on his own. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ethan.
So we're going to click to spin,
Thank you guys for your comments. You
and
guys can
it
see what we're seeing. It
is
is Adam.
Adam Diaz.
Woo!
Woo! So thank you all for watching this evening.
Oh, this is
Oh, it does a
applause.
cool thing.
We used a wonderful Google spin wheel thing.
Wheel of Names.
Wheel of names. What do you think, John, about actually just sending Adam this 12 Days of Whiskey thing?
Oh, I'm going to consult him.
Okay, because I
First.
happen to know for sure that he's above 21.
Now,
So, I'll bet you he would
I
enjoy it.
really honestly hope so.
Okay.
Uh,
He's like, yay, oh, hi, Adam.
So you're at least going to get that. I mean, if I'm shipping it to him anyway, I may as well ship him the 12 days of whiskey.
I think Adam, if I can attest to it, I think we're gonna send you this.
Adam, do you want a 12 days of whiskey?
If you comment, you won something. If you can comment yes in the next minute and a half, we'll send you this 12 Days of Whiskey sampler. And I'm sure there's something, at least one of these bottles especially, is gonna make this entire kit worth it. So, to put it in perspective, the members of our tasting group, we pay $60
Yeah.
to be a part of this 12 Days of Whiskey, so that's a pretty decent price. But you
To
do
be fair, it should be higher than that, but
It should be. But we do pay membership fees. Yes.
yay for
Yay.
an adult
We're
advent
gonna take
calendar.
that as a yes.
Heck
So,
yeah,
we're gonna
we'll try and
send
get
down
that to you overnighted.
Thanks for your comments, buddy.
Appreciate all the support, and it is 9 o'clock, so we're going to peace out. Thank you for watching. We are Gentlemen of Whiskey. I'm John. He's Nate.
Hello.
And we will catch you next time.
Cheers.